Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here. Yes, you are seeing correctly. This is Take Five Sports. Take Five Sports is here to do a show about the NBA Finals real quickly. Ant, go on, open it up. Tell the people what you want to talk about.
The NBA Finals, Celtics Warriors. Quest for 18 versus is this a dynasty? Six in
Oh,
6 years or six NBA Finals in 8 years. Some Jordan did, but I mean they lost what? The Warriors lost two, Raptors and Cavs. So is this a dynasty?
so I thought if you have three or more championships, that was a dynasty. Am I correct?
Is it three or more in a row, or is it just three total? I thought it was depending on in a certain amount of span.
I
They
don't know
consider
because
that a
they
dynasty.
called they called the Spurs a dynasty, and them niggas never won two back to back ever.
But did they win multiple in like a 5 year span or 6 year span?
Yeah,
Was
they
it
did.
three or more, or was it just two, or what was it?
I think it was broken up, right?
Yeah, they got three. They won in 99, '03, '05, and '07.
So you would really count the 03, 05, 07 because that 99, that was 4 year gap before they won that next one. And then I don't, I mean, I would consider the Warriors a dynasty though.
You
Why
said you
wouldn't you?
would?
Yeah, six NBA finals in 8 years.
Yeah, I consider them a dynasty. What about you,
You
B Red?
won four or three.
Got to be a dynasty. Why are you laughing?
Because that shit took everything in you to call them a dynasty.
No, because I know I was really trying to think about. I was still thinking about the Spurs. I'm like, did they
Oh
win in
yeah,
'05? They did win in '05, right? It was '05, right?
I don't know. Don't give me the line.
I ain't gonna even lie, I don't remember.
I think it was all the odd years, like '03, '05, '07. But I'm
07
not
is when they
sure.
beat the Cavs, and
The
05 is when they
Cavs,
beat the
yeah.
Pistons.
I'm trying to think about '05. It had to be '05. I think, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
05 would
anyways,
have
no,
been the
yeah,
Pistons then.
the Warriors are a dynasty because they actually defended their championship. So there's no way you can say that they weren't. They got, a back to back in there, and they got this is you said their sixth appearance in 8 years.
Yep.
So they went in 2015, 2016, 17, 18. So that was 4 straight years. It's 5 years, right? It's the fifth time, right?
Yeah, they said
Am I,
this is 6 appearances in 8 years or something like that.
okay. So yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, 6 appearances in 8 years, and they won
Three
three.
and lost
I mean,
two.
they were a dynasty even before this appearance, right? Because I mean, they went to the what, four straight and won three out of
Three
or
out of
three out of
four.
five, I think, right?
Yeah, 3 out of 5. Yep.
Yeah, so they were a dynasty before. They didn't need this to be a dynasty. They were already a dynasty before. Because I mean, right before that, the last dynasty was probably Miami, who won, 2 out of 4.
Thank you, Rebecca. Spurs 1999, 2003, 2005, 2007, and then 2014.
Yes, I was right.
Yeah.
I just didn't say 14 because it was too far in between. But yeah,
Yeah.
all the odd years. But yeah, that dynasty. I mean, the
Brandon
the
just skipped.
craziest thing about the whole Warriors dynasty is that they didn't three-peat. And it's probably because of injuries and just some weird shit. The last three-peat was still the Lakers from 2000, 2001, 2002. So it
Shows
just
you how
shows you how
hard it
hard it
is to,
is.
yeah, how hard it is to
Yeah,
3P, man.
yeah. So
Is Brandon
yeah, it's
connecting
a lot on the
tricking?
line, man. It's a lot. I don't. To me, I don't see any way the Celtics can win. Like I just don't see it. I don't see a path. They're not supposed to be here. To me, they're only here because Chris Middleton's knee got injured, in my opinion. So let's start off there. And then two, I think I saw a stat that said the Warriors have 153 games of finals appearance or final experience, and the Celtics have zero. A big donut hole. Like nobody's played in the finals. So how do you beat experience?
Talent?
But
Defense.
they don't have the talent.
You don't think so?
No.
They're a
Like they
great
have to have
defensive team.
superior talent to be able
They
to beat.
they're a great defensive team, though.
Okay, so look, this reminds me of the 2012 finals between the Thunder and the Heat.
Miami.
So that was Miami's first championship together. It wasn't Wade's first.
Right.
He already had experience, but they already had. LeBron had played in the finals. They had Wade had won a championship. They just lost the finals before that. They had experience, and I think nobody on that Thunder team had played in the finals before, and they lost 4-1. I see the same thing happening here. I don't see Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Smart being able to outplay the experience of the Warriors, who we just said this is their 6 finals in 8 years. Like I don't see it.
What do you think, Ant?
I mean, I think the defense obviously is going to keep them in there. And then you got what's his name, Williams, the power forward. Hello.
Yeah, Williams.
Yeah, so you got Williams who's going to battle with Draymond. I mean, I don't think Celtics are going to win. I think Warriors in 7, but I give the Celtics a fighting chance because of their defense. I definitely give them a fighting chance, though.
A fighting chance. So how many games is a fighting chance?
It's going 7.
No,
You
it's
don't
not
think
going
it's going
7,
7?
bro.
What do you think is going?
It's going no more than 6. I say 5, no more than 6. Because the Warriors have a tendency of getting bored, like they did against Memphis, and getting beat by like 50. Like they have that kind of fucking mentality sometimes. They're so good. I mean, it's just you can't teach that type of experience. So I just don't see a path for, and barring like something happening that we not anticipating, like injury or something like that. I don't see a way that both teams healthy, the Celtics can beat the Warriors. There's no experience in the finals. They should have lost to the Bucks had Middleton been there. Let's get that straight. Miami took him 7 games with an injured Butler and no existing form of Kyle Lowry. I mean, really, like they are the weaker team by a lot to me.
But how do you feel about Memphis losing Ja Morant and then Golden State not even having to play Phoenix?
Well, me and Dame talked about it. Like Ja Morant's a superstar, right? But Memphis plays better defensively and as a team without him on the court. I think they're like Quincy has said during that run that they're like 20-5 without Ja Morant or something crazy. Like they're a good team without Ja Morant. Memphis overall is a better team, like roster spot than the Celtics. So them losing Ja Morant, I mean, yeah, you can say that. I get that, but I don't think they were going to lose. I think they were up when Ja Morant went out. Like they were up like 3-2 or 3-1 or something weird when he got injured. Like they were winning the series with Ja Morant playing. So, yeah, I don't think that's that big of a difference as far as saying like they would have lost to the Bucks had Middleton not been playing.
But then what do you say about Phoenix? They avoided Phoenix because the Mavs beat Phoenix. So do you think really the Mavs were better than Phoenix?
I mean, who's to say? We say the records really don't matter because the best team wins in the playoffs. So I mean, I think in the end, I guess the Mavs were the better team than the Suns. But do you think that the Suns would have been able to beat the Warriors? I don't. I mean, we kind of said before the playoffs started it was a collision course for the Suns and the Warriors. I think Khalif said it. Like, can we just get to the Suns and Warriors already? So we expected that, but it didn't happen because the Suns that hold up their end of the deal. That's their fault. I mean, Warriors made it all the way to the finals in the West. That's on the Suns. So obviously they weren't as good as we thought they were. And we saw that what's his name? The center, DeAndre Ayton, disappears for periods of time, so he wouldn't have been able to get anything off against Draymond Green.
And you, Dame, what do you say?
So look, I'm torn. One, I think it's going to be 6 games. I don't think it's going to be as blowouty as people think. The reason I'm torn is because they have the one thing that is kryptonite to Golden State Warriors, and that's Marcus Smart sticking Steph Curry. Steph Curry is going to have hell on the perimeter with those perimeter defenders. Exactly Exactly, Brandon.
Are you giving Brandon what he wants about Steph right now?
We'll
I
get to
feel
that.
like,
We'll get to that in a minute.
but I feel like that's what's gonna happen though, right? Like I feel like they're gonna key in on Steph. Clay is gonna have to do what he. But the problem is their defense, their perimeter defense is a little better than most. To where even if they key in on, because like as we saw when they played the Heat, they wasn't really having issues with them dudes on the perimeter. They was having issues with them when they was going inside. So I think that's gonna be the difference in the game. Both teams inside game, what you get from their inside players, because the perimeter I think is gonna be they're gonna cancel each other out. But I don't know. Go ahead, B. I want to hear from you.
I mean, the inside game, they got the advantage as well. The Warriors do. I mean, we saw Kevon Looney kind of have a coming out party in the series against Memphis, and then he kind of like carried that momentum into the Western Conference Finals against the Mavericks. Wilt Chamberlain Jr. is a beast as far as getting boards and inside post presence and stuff. And then you got to remember,
Otto Porter going to be back for the finals.
They said he should. They were. I think they should release it today, but they were evaluating him and GP2.
Yeah.
So we should know something. He should be back within the series, probably before Gary Payton. But I mean, even if he doesn't, they still got some good inside presence as far as with Kevon Looney and the other. I can't remember the other guy's name. It's I think he's a rookie. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah,
they got another power forward.
Yeah. Well, this to me is going to be the X factor, and this will. I'll watch this game today, and this will determine the way I really think the series is going to go. I want to see what Wiggins is going to do on Tatum defensively, because Wiggins has actually been really good throughout these playoffs defensively.
Highest plus minus, they said.
Yeah, so if Wiggins can kind of neutralize Tatum a little bit, then the Celtics really don't have a chance, honestly. Because think about the amount of times in the Miami series, the amount of times in the Milwaukee series that Tatum literally had to come in and save their ass. You know what I mean? Like Tatum literally had to take over. So if you can get Wiggins playing some decent defense on Tatum, then I think that cancels out what Marcus Smart can do to Steph Curry. And then you got it, it's ball game Warriors after that. Because then I think it does go to experience. I think it does go to team system, which I think, Ime Udoka is a great coach, but I think Steve Kerr's system is a little better than the Celtics system in regard to ball movement and getting buckets. And the X factor that people don't like to talk about, that damn Draymond Green. Draymond Green, I've watched him. They're not going to say it's clutch because he's not making a shot, but I've seen him make clutch plays every playoffs where, like, we need buckets, and he gets somebody the ball right where they needed to get a bucket.
What's his technical count right now before he gets suspended for a game, though?
I don't know. I think he got 2 left.
Because that's going to play an issue as well. Dude is very high-headed, and if Boston could get in his head, then that's going to be an issue right there.
Yeah, I don't know if Boston got those players, though. I don't know who would be the one to get in his head like that.
Marcus Smart, but
him and really. Marcus could go at it. I can see both of them.
I believe Wiggins can win MVP if he makes Tatum struggles.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You don't think Wiggins has any shot at being a Finals MVP?
If he could contain, if he could contain Tatum,
no,
and he puts up 20 plus, yes.
Well, that's the thing. He got to put up to him. But I think Marcus Smart is talking in more regard like the Iguodala type MVP.
So this is an important finals for legacy purposes for the Warriors. It kind of cements them as one of the premier. I mean, I think they're already a dynasty, but I think right now they kind of have that blemish from the 73 game win season where they didn't close it out. Absolutely. And then they added KD and then won 2. So it's always a kind of like, yeah, it's a dynasty, but you guys had KD. And I've been one to say, just personally, the 2015 run was cool, but they played a bunch of injured teams like throughout the entire way. Like every point guard that they played throughout that run in 15 was hurt. And then in the finals, not only was Kyrie hurt, Kevin Love was hurt too. So I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away, but just being, objective, it is something that should be said. When they did play a healthy team the next year, they lost. You could say because Draymond gets suspended, whatever. This run right here would be their most impressive championship run. I believe, even though Steph is solid, like dude he cemented his legacy already. I don't think, but in the back of these players' minds, they didn't get to where they're at being so great by not understanding or wanting to be or wanting all the accolades and stuff. We didn't actually hear Kobe say, "I got one more than Shaq," until after he actually won one more than Shaq. So that lets you know he was thinking about it. He just never said shit until he actually won one. I do believe that Steph wants the Finals MVP. Whether he's going to say it or not, or it's basketball, it's team play, it's not. The nigga wants the Finals MVP. So with that said, what I've always heard is that Steph Curry gets blitzed, he gets doubled, he gets trapped. He's not the first superstar perimeter player to have that happen to him. Kobe had to go up against Tony Allen and a bunch of other players in the finals that blitzed him and stuff too. If that happens and he kind of defers more to Clay and Wiggins and Draymond in those moments, does that deflect? And he doesn't win the Finals MVP. Does that take anything away from him, in your mind, Dame Crawford?
It doesn't in my mind, and I'm gonna tell you why. I tell people the fact that he was able to have KD come in, take a back seat when he needed to you know what I'm saying, to be able to play team ball. I think the things that LeBron gets praised for, Steph Curry gets dinged for. LeBron gets praised for being one of the most unselfish basketball players ever. He wants to let everybody else get involved. And that's the one thing Steph Curry, I think he's actually better at LeBron than that. And he gets dinged for it. He gets dinged for being unselfish, playing within the system, swinging the ball when it needs to, actually making the right play, taking a shot when he needs to take the shot. I think he does all those things that a coach would want, but he gets dinged for being unselfish. And I think a part of the Warriors culture and the reason that they can continue to win and can continue to get to where they are is because of the unselfishness of Steph Curry. It's because Steph Curry brings in guys like Andrew Wiggins and gets them acclimated to the system and gets them a role that they didn't have anywhere else, and now they feel like they're a part of something. I think it's because of those things that he didn't win the MVP, a Finals MVP, is the thing that also makes him great and makes the team great. But because we talk about basketball so many times in individualistic terms, people won't look at it like that. Because I was like, damn, I thought about it one day. I was like, damn, he really is one of the most unselfish superstars that we have ever had. And because he's such an unselfish superstar, he gets dinged for it because he doesn't have to be a hero because the way he helps his team get set up. That's my opinion on it.
Okay, but real quick before you respond, Ant. Myself, Ant is not, he's kind of a LeBron apologist when it comes to this point, but myself, you, Quincy, others we have dinged LeBron for being unselfish because there are times where it's like, nigga, stop making the right basketball play and go get a bucket. So, I mean, I know LeBron gets praised for being unselfish because he does play, he gets the assist and stuff like that. But there are times where it's like, as a superstar, and me and you are very consistent in this of blaming the superstar in clutch moments or big games. It's on the superstar when they get the praise, and it's on them when they get the fault for the losses. Well, you got to say, damn what Steve Kerr wrote up on the board, give me the ball, get out the way. Like it has to be a point in time where that happens. Not, okay, no, it's cool, Clay is hot or Poole is hot or Wiggins is hot. Like, nah, I'm the MVP. I'm the leader of this team. I'm going to take us home. We've said that about LeBron on numerous occasions where it's like, okay, nigga, go get this bucket. Why does Steph escape that type of criticism?
Here's the problem. When you say LeBron, you were asking LeBron to take it to the hole. LeBron is 6'9", go to the hole. Steph is not 6'9", going to the hole. Steph is an outside shooter, the greatest outside shooter. So when other players are hot, why do y'all expect Steph to say, okay, I know Clay is hot, but I'm going to take this 30-foot three that's not needed right now because I'm Steph? That doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, but you just answered your own question. You said he's the best shooter ever. That's the point. Instead of putting that on the onus on my point has always been that No, my
How are
point has
you
always
putting the
been that
onus
the
on
number
somebody
two is
else,
very
though?
important, right? So the number two is high. You lean on the number two. There has never been, and if I'm missing someone, you let me know. Like in a all-star caliber, an all-time great caliber, all number one, like a Jordan or Kobe, or where they put Steph in those ranks, where their number two consistently is looked at to close down in some of these big games. Like
Well,
we
I
knew
think
Jordan was.
let's talk about that anomaly real quick too, right?
I don't
Because
think he gets
again,
that.
this is something I think that Steph gets penalized for having an amazing number two. Again, to me, this goes towards the whole Warrior organization. Kudos to the Warriors organization, the way they built and the way they drafted, but also to the Warriors culture. That is their culture, right? Is team ball. And the one thing I will say, and to me, this is why it's different when you say we give certain criticism to LeBron that we don't give to Steph in those moments, because I've seen LeBron go for stats. I mean, especially this year, right? We've seen it. LeBron go for stats, and there's a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter, and he plays totally different in the fourth quarter than he played in the first three quarters, right? Can we agree on that? That we saw a lot of that this
Yeah, no,
year.
yeah.
Okay, to me, I'll see Steph make the same play, either shoot or pass in the first quarter. He's going to make that same play in the fourth. He's going to play the same way in the fourth. And to me, that's the difference. If he shifted his play in the fourth where he just like, I'm totally deferring to Clay, I'm not shooting at all, then I will understand the criticism. But I see Steph make some of the same plays in the first quarter that he would make in the fourth quarter. And to me, that's what makes it different, because when it comes to LeBron, that goes to mentality. Like Ant said, you got a 6'9" ball player who has been getting to the rack the whole game, and we need to get some free throws. We know LeBron don't like to get to the free throw, so what does he do? He starts taking step back threes. He stops going to the rack. We lose the lead. We lose the game. I think that's very different than him having the luxury of having a Clay, and if they're triple teaming me, I can pass it to Clay because I know he's gonna hit it. If they're double teaming me, I can pass back up to the top of the key, and Draymond Green's gonna make the right play for Otto Porter to get a layup. I don't see that as a fault of Steph Curry, but I see that as he has the luxury because nobody else, like you said, what other number two? Nobody else had a number two where he was literally the number one 3-point shooter of all time, and the number 2 or 3-point shooter of all time is on the same team as him. No,
That's been my point. You literally are saying what I'm saying in these comments and shit, and people are like, "Oh no, you hating on stuff." Like, no, I'm saying he has a luxury of being able to have a number two to be able to close out games in those games where he doesn't have it or
well,
whatever.
I agree
But
with you. I
then,
think the difference is you penalize him for that. I
I'm
don't
not. No, I'm
penalize
not
him.
penalizing him for it at all. I mean, if it's called a penalization or whatever, then so be it. But what I'm saying is, if we're going to put all things equal and stuff, then when we're comparing like these all-time greats and who ranks here top 10, you're literally splitting hairs. So it may look
but
like a
here,
penalty, but I mean, you got to take that into consideration if you're going
but
to say
here's
that
the
Steph's
issue,
better
Bray.
than Kobe or Steph's better than Magic or Steph's better than Isaiah Thomas. You have to look at all things and literally split hairs and make comparisons if you're going to say that they're where they rank at in the all-time great list.
But what you fail to mention all the time when you make these comments is in the fourth quarter, and even Tyronn Lue and everybody done said it. Our goal is to take Steph away. So they've double teamed Steph, and this allows Clay to be wide open, hitting threes. So why are you penalizing Steph
Just the
when
word
our
penalizing again. Okay,
you are though?
so in the fourth quarter in 1998 against Utah, what did Jerry Sloan say? We just gonna let MJ go out and do his thing. In the fourth quarter in the finals against the Celtics, they were Doc Rivers like, let's just let Kobe go out and do his thing. He's not the first player where the whole defense is focused in on him in the fourth quarter of an NBA Finals game.
Bro,
You
there's
guys always make it
literally a
seem like I'm just
picture.
putting it off on
There's
him. He's
literally
not
a
the first or
picture.
only player to be double teamed and blitzed.
Dog, there's literally a picture of all 5 Cavs on Steph and KD holding his hand wide open for a 3.
Okay, I saw the picture. There are
Come
pictures
on,
like that
dog.
with
Like,
Kobe. There are pictures like that with MJ, LeBron. You can find there. I mean, you act like he's the only player where the defense focused in. You don't. I mean, Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player ever in the '90s. You don't think at some
dog,
point
you
you
tell
can
me.
find a picture of all the
we have
defense
to talk
looking at
about
him?
this.
No,
Hold on, we have to talk about this.
Hold on, Dave. Tell me another team that had 3 other scorers like Clay, Steph, and KD, where they still doubled one score and left another score wide open. Name a team.
LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. They were doubling Bosh. They were doubling
man.
LeBron.
Wade was not a
with
three-point
Wade.
shooter like KD.
Wade got so many more looks because
Come
of
on,
them
man.
doubling LeBron or keeping LeBron out of the paint. They would wall off the free throw line to keep LeBron from going to the. Go look at the finals that they lost to the Mavericks.
You comparing the shooting of Clay?
You asked me to name three other. I'm naming three right
Wade,
there. I'm giving you the
Bosh,
example.
dog. Okay.
I'm giving you the example.
Okay.
That's not an example. What do you want me to say?
Well, I think we have to talk about, to me, context matters as well, because yes, we have I agree with you, Garen. He said Wade had
very
limited.
I
think that's a bad. I think it's a bad comparison. But
I mean, that's the only comparison I have. I mean, Wade is not a shooter, right? But for them to focus in so much on LeBron when you have another Hall of Fame shooting guard on the perimeter was crazy. But it worked in 2011. It didn't work in 2012. They were literally focused on LeBron. They didn't have the spacing, obviously, that Golden State had. There isn't another team. There is no other team that compared to that Warriors team. We know that.
Exactly.
That's why we were so mad.
So that's what I'm saying, right? So, and I said, you talk about this team in context because he does have something that none of those other people you ever talk about had. They never had
another shooter,
that good next to the best shooter ever. It's like having two Reggie Millers. Like if the Pacers had two Reggie Millers, it would have been a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what you have here with this Warriors team. But I said that to say we also got to talk about the context. When you talk about, well, he's not the first player to get double team and triple team. That is true. But there's a difference in double teaming and triple teaming a 6'5", 6'8", somebody 6'8", 6'5" to 6'8", and double team somebody 6'3". That's a perimeter only. Because 6'1". That's perimeter. Because you think about it, Kobe got post game, Jordan got post game because of their size. They can go when they get in double triple team. They know I can go down to the post. I can go to that. We already know where Kobe liked to operate and Jordan liked to operate. Top of that key, that pinch post. Steph doesn't have that luxury. Steph either has to shoot a three or has to go all the way to the basket. It's hard for him. He has a great mid range, but when you're talking about double and triple teaming, it's hard. But and I even heard Tyronn Lue say the other day. He said even with KD and even with Steph, we never stop blitzing Steph. We never stop blitzing Steph.
Never.
He said we never took our focus off Steph, and I think that's important. He said KD can score, Clay can score,
but we can't have.
But he said Steph is a momentum scorer,
momentum swinger. Yep.
He said he's a momentum swinger. He said so. If Steph hits you with a couple of the momentum swing, it's over. So no matter
it was over regardless of them blitzing him or not. That's what I'm not understanding. He can say that all he wants. We blitzed Steph. They still won both of those series with KD. It worked in 2016. When they blitzed him in 2016 without a KD on the floor, it worked. That's what they did in games 5, 6, and 7 without Draymond. They blitzed him and it worked. That shouldn't happen if you're telling me he's the greatest point guard of all time. That's my point. There was literally nothing you can do against that Warriors team. You could have blitzed KD.
Just to be clear, I don't think he's the greatest point guard of all time.
No, I know you don't, but I'm saying when I'm making these arguments or I'm being a hater, it's because of what I'm hearing the media say. Same thing I did in 2016 when they were saying he's the greatest player in the world. I'm like, LeBron is still pretty damn good. So, but my point being is against that 2017-18 Warriors team, Tyronn Lue could have said, and he blitzed anybody. He could have said, I double team Clay because I don't want him to get hot. Because Clay, people don't want to give him a credit for it, but he is a momentum scorer too. When Clay scores and he's hitting threes and shit, that crowd is going wild. It's not just Steph.
No, it's different.
Clay brings momentum to the game.
It's different when Clay hits threes and when Steph hits threes.
I think that's just something. No, I don't. It's the same to me.
No, it is not. No,
it's the same to me. I've seen it. We've seen it happen over and over again.
I watched those games and I watched the difference when Steph hits one of them step over the line, one pull up, almost half court threes. And when Clay hits a three from the corner, it's a difference, dog.
When Clay hits those step over the line, when he's taking those long ass threes, bro, the game they have a lead already. That's kind of putting out of reach. He's not taking those threes when they're down, and that's a bad shot. He takes those threes when he can. When Clay has hit, you go back and look at the Memphis game. This year, the Memphis game that they closed out, Clay has those momentum boosters as well. I mean, I think it plays too much into that. But going back to my main point is, Lue had to blitz somebody. He had to blitz somebody. It could have been KD, Steph, Clay, whoever. There was nothing you were going to do to beat that team. It didn't matter who you blitzed. Am I right or am I right? If you would have said the same thing about KD.
I don't know because the coaches always decide to blitz Steph.
But I'm saying, okay, but he could have decided to blitz KD. Then what happens? They still lose. I mean, they lost the series blitzing Steph. When they won the series before KD got there, doing the same thing that they did.
All right, well, I know Ant got it bouncing a little bit, so
he's back at the desk.
Yeah, he back at the desk. So we'll make
I'm
our
listening.
prediction.
I'm just gonna put the mic on mute until I'm ready.
He's
to
a
talk.
good employee. That nigga's it's Willie 1250, bro. That nigga is not
On the
still no
dot.
time. That nigga steals no company time.
All right, so I'm gonna say Warriors in 6, but if Wiggins is giving Tatum problems, Warriors in 5.
So I got a question for you. Warriors win. What does this do to KD legacy?
I don't think it does anything to KD legacy because I think KD came in and he won them MVPs. He balled out. Like people can say what they want about, he was on that team. I feel like if his finals MVPs don't count, then some of LeBron shouldn't. The ones with Dwayne Wade and Bosh shouldn't count. You know what I mean? Because then you get to like picking and choosing when somebody's legacy is. I don't think it would affect his. People will say that, but I don't think it should affect his legacy because he did what he did when he was there.
Got it. Yeah, I gotta go now. My bad.
All right, y'all. Until next time, Take 5 Sports. We'll see y'all.
All right, man.